Okay, let's get to know. We have actually two Allisons on our CASA chat today. We have Allison and then we have John and Allison. So let's get to know y'all from the beginning. Allison is our CASA volunteer who's on our CASA chat tonight. So Allison, tell us a little bit about your background, why you decided to get involved in CASA as one of our volunteers.
Yeah, I decided about a year ago, so it was last January before all of the COVID happened, that I wanted to get involved with a volunteer organization that works with kids. And I just happened to be at the San Marcos Public Library, and there was kind of like a fair of different volunteer organizations, and I saw y'all's table, and I'd actually never heard of you guys before. And so once I got to hear what your program was all about, I knew it was perfect for me because as a teacher, I love advocating for kids and working with kids. And so I started my training that January and then was matched with the kiddo that I'm working with right now. And I guess it was March or April. And it's been a really great experience. And I love the ability to be able to not just work with the kiddo, but also the foster family and his parents, and it's just a really cool way to get involved.
Well, we're glad you did get involved. And then John and Allison, you two are the placement for the CASA youth that Allison is appointed to. Tell us a little bit about why you two decided to become foster parents.
Well, you want to tell the story here?
So we looked into adopting, and we just didn't feel like it fit right with us. We wanted to we wanted a child to need us as much as we needed them. And so it just, the more that we went into researched foster care, it just felt right. And so we've been doing this for about a year and a half, and we've had 5 placements, and I don't know if we've loved every minute of it, but every minute of it has been an adventure.
That's great to hear. Well, I wanted to chat with all of you today because a lot of times as CASA volunteers, we emphasize getting to know the children and talking to the children, but there's also a really big important aspect when it comes to advocating for our children, and that's getting to know all of the adults that are there in the children's lives too. So I really just have 2 big questions, one for each of you. CASA volunteer Allison, I'll start with you first. Give us some examples of what type of information that you as the CASA volunteer would go to a foster placement to help you advocate for that child a little bit better.
Yeah, so one thing I always make sure I do, just because I'm a relatively new CASA advocate, this is my first placement, I really love being in touch with my supervisor and just running things by her to make sure it's okay to tell the placement, because everything that I hear about my kiddo, I want to share with them because I know they're with him every day and they want the best for him. And so one thing I always think is so important is just to ask my supervisor, like, is this information okay to share or not? And then when it is, I just try and keep communication as open and as quick as possible. So pretty much when I hear something and I know it's okay for me to share, I've been keeping in touch with Allison really well, and we'll text each other because we're both working and busy. And then whenever we can, get a phone call in, I just think it's really important to communicate as much as you possibly can. And what I kind of learned is that sometimes email is not the best way to keep in touch with people. And so just learning the way that people communicate best, whether that's text messages or phone calls or, Zooms or all that good stuff, and being able to meet their specific needs, I've found has really helped, especially working with the parents of the kiddos of the placement. I've found that texting is the best way to get in contact with them, and they feel the most comfortable there. And just kind of figuring out what what works best for people, and trying to do that has definitely, I feel like, helped improve communication both ways. So I love that they'll send me pictures of the kiddo that I'm the CASA for, and so I can feel, even though I can't, be with him a whole super lot because of how things are right now, I feel like I'm a part of his life and I get those updates. So that's been really cool.
So there are a lot of, as I call them, pieces to the puzzle, and John and Allison are one of those big pieces, the actual foster placement, where your CASA youth is living day to day. You're meeting those needs as they come up immediately. So kind of my big question for the two of you, having foster children in your home, what benefit do you see from them having a CASA volunteer like Allison, not only for the child, but also for you as the foster parents?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, one thing you don't realize whenever you're getting into foster care is there's a lot of moving pieces, and a lot of things that you don't really have control over, and a lot of information coming, from all different directions. And I would say the thing that we've enjoyed the most about CASA, and it's been the most beneficial, is is having someone to kind of tie all those pieces together and tell the story, in one sentence, for lack of better terms there. But you've got CPS, you've got our agency, you've got the lawyer, you've got the birth parents, you've got all these. I mean, I don't know, there's 5-10 people involved, and it's hard to keep up with all of them.
And I truly feel like CASA really has the child's best interest at heart. They're supposed to be objective third party, and they want the best for that child, and they really, like, Allison has grown to love our kid like her own, and really cares for him, and is another cheerleader in his life, and it's really been really cool.
But thank y'all so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this for me. We're trying to do this CASA Chat series and just really give people a look into what it's like being a CASA volunteer.